Around 40% of students nationwide are struggling to read just at a basic level. The White House is hoping to reverse that trend. Second Lady Usha Vance has put together a summer reading challenge, encouraging our children across the country to read 12 books this summer. Second Lady Usha Vance joins us now with more. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thanks for coming on. I've already been on the site. I've printed it out. My daughter's going to do this, and I'm looking forward to it. Tell me about this program and why you're doing this.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that she's going to participate. So this program comes from a number of sources. As you know, I'm the mother of 3 children, all of whom are about to embark on summer vacation themselves. And I've been seeing the data about how there's been a lot of reading loss. Literacy rates are declining and children are really just not reading as much as they used to. So I've been really motivated to try to do something about that. And so the Summer Reading Challenge is my first attempt to try to make a little bit of a difference in this area. The goal of the Summer Reading Challenge is just to have children from all over the country read this summer. And if they do that and they tell me about it, then we'll send them a little prize and enter them into a drawing to come visit the White House, and hopefully they'll have some fun doing it and pick up more books after that.
I think it's great. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I think a lot of us probably grew up doing these kinds of challenges. I know my school offered them. There were businesses and libraries. So it's something that's been on my mind, but I'm not aware of one that's just sort of equally accessible to children all over the country. And I thought it might be nice to use the platform that I have in this role to try to make that possible.
I liked what you said. You said adventure, imagination, and discovery await right between the pages of a book. And when you find a great book and you can't put it down, you're taken to a new realm, a different world of imagination.
Absolutely. That's part of it. We just want people to explore new places with these books.
Right. So
it's come out, a little bit richer and more excited because of it.
Absolutely. So we were all talking on the Curvy Couch, and we want to know what your parents did. I mean, you finished top of your class at Yale. You went to Yale Law School. What was it like? What did your parents do so we can encourage our children to do the same thing?
Oh, well, my parents are awesome, but I think they'd be the first to say that they're pretty hands-off about a lot of things. The one thing that they always said is that if you're going to spend any time doing anything, it really should be something that you learn from. So they just filled our house with books. They modeled reading themselves. They were always picking things up. My dad went through a phase where he was trying to read all the Nobel laureates, right? My mom had piles of books by her bed. And so they just showed us that that was a productive and fun way to spend time. And that's what we did too.
What about devices and TVs? When my daughter has a play date, they all were able to bring home their computers from school yesterday, and they're all sitting in my kitchen, and all of them are on it. And the moms, we walked in there and we said, put these devices down. Y'all are not doing this. Y'all are on a play date. You need to be playing with your toys and not doing this. So what's your advice when it comes to devices and TV and other distractions?
Well, with this Summer Reading Challenge, we're very conscious of the fact that if you're not reading, if you're not outside playing, you might be inside just sort of staring at one of the many screens that we now have in our houses. So we wanted to suggest, and this is what we do in our own family, a kind of positive way to fill that time that's tactile, where you actually have to turn the pages of a book, where you might sit outside in the sunlight and read. And every minute that you spend doing something like that is a minute that you're not spending, scrolling through Instagram or Googling things that you probably shouldn't be Googling. And so we're trying to take that approach, make everything that you can do outside and in the real world feel fun, so that it's a little bit of a distraction from the things that I don't necessarily want my kids doing at this age.
Right. Why do you think it is that 40% can't even read at the basic level in our country?
Well, of course, there are a whole host of factors here. It's not just COVID, but I think COVID and school closures and the learning losses that were associated with that are a part of it. I think it's really hard to kind of reverse a trend when you've already started to think of yourself as a non-reader, or not really been in a circumstance where you can pick up these skills in a fun and meaningful way. But there are also, other circumstances, the methods by which we're taught, what happens in homes, what happens in kind of communities of children. So it's a multivariate problem.
Yeah, so I was talking to a friend, Usha. She has 2 children, son graduated as valedictorian. Her daughter's on track to be the next valedictorian in their high school. And I said, we went to college together, and I said, we had a lot of fun. I know you're smart. What did you do? Give me advice. And she said, I actually bribed my children. She said, I made them, if every book they read, I gave them a toy, and they could pick out a toy. Do you recommend that?
Well, I suppose with the Summer Reading Challenge, we're doing a little bit of that ourselves.
Okay.
So if that works for a family, I guess that works for a family, right? And I do see incentives as a way to kind of encourage kids to try things that they might not otherwise be inclined to do. But I do think that the other piece of the puzzle is just showing that you value this and making it seem like something that you want to do for yourself, that your children should want to do for themselves, and showing them what they can discover, finding the right books, finding the right intellectual incentives maybe to pick up new things and try things that seem a little hard. So in our case, that means sometimes filling our shelves with things that I'd rather not read myself, but that I know my kids are going to pick up because it's about the next cool thing in their lives. Insects right now for my little guys, dinosaurs when my kids were younger, and different topics as they age.
Yeah, that's great advice. All right, so I went on the website, and it is wh.gov/read. It's very simple. You just click on the site, and you can print out. Now, Usha, do we print this out, or do we fill it out on the computer?
Well, I think you could conceivably fill it out on the computer, but we designed it to be printed out so the kids can, if they're able to write, fill it out themselves.
Got it.
And the parent just signs, and they do a little reflection by hand at the bottom. And then you scan it and send it back to us, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, it's great. There's student information with name of school, your address. Then there's the parent information. Then there's a consent that the parent signs. And on the next page, it just looks like this. It's a reading log. They fill out the names of their books, the authors, and at the bottom in this box, they can draw a picture with a brief reflection of their favorite book. So it's not a reflection on every single book. Some of the little kids aren't able to do that, but you could draw a picture or whatever's age appropriate for that. Tell me a little bit more about this initiative and what your goal is as the Second Lady.
Well, the way that I'm thinking about it is that I'm aware of these kind of bigger problems, right? The decline in reading scores, the persistent problems, summer learning loss, and so on. And my goal is to try to come up with small ways in which I can use my platform to counteract some of those issues. I don't think that the Summer Reading Challenge certainly is like the end-all be-all here. In my mind, it's more of a proof of concept. We're trying to make things work. We're going to see how they work. If they're successful, then we'll try to build on them and do it again next year, maybe in even a bigger form. But we're going to try a number of things over the course of the year and try to understand what really makes a difference. So you'll be seeing more from us soon.
Okay, wonderful. So your children are encouraged to read 12 books this summer. It's for K through 8, June 1st, so started a few days ago through September 5th. And then you just go on this website, fill out the forms, turn it in, and then you will get a certificate from Usha Vance from the White House, and you will get a small prize and a chance to go to Washington. I think one person will be selected to go to Washington who participated with Chaperone and CDC. Thank you so much, Usha, for being on with us. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.